Hello, welcome back to another collective reading. Today we are going to be doing a new moon reading for the collective for February. So if you guys are ready, let's get right into it. So to start off, new moons, if you guys are not familiar, new moons are the new cycle of a moon where we are in like the darker part of the moon. There's no light coming through, but that's because we can think of it like a womb. It's very dark and you're not able to see what seeds are in the soil because it is dark. But this is the void where we have the opportunity to set those intentions, to plant those seeds, to start thinking about first of all, like, how do we want the next 4 weeks to go? What do we want to work on? But also long term, 6 months from now, when we have the full moon in this sign again for February, I believe this is a new moon in Aquarius. So 6 months from now, when we have a full moon in Aquarius, like, where do you want to be in regards to this theme of Aquarian energy in 6 months? So with that, I think it's a perfect segue because the themes that are coming up for this new moon right now, the energy that's coming up is talking about freedom. And I feel like Aquarian energy is all about the freedom, all about breaking the boundaries and the barriers of society and the expectations that are already placed from the generations before us. So this is definitely a good time to think about what areas of my life do I want to free myself? What things, what behaviors, what limiting beliefs am I done with? They just don't work anymore. There's no room for this. And remembering that you do have the power to implement the changes despite the surroundings that you're in, despite how difficult it may feel to start those changes to get your freedom or to feel free. It is still your responsibility. It is still in your power to do that and to start and to set those intentions. And I feel like that comes from a place of first deciding, in the mind, in the soul, like feeling in your heart, do I want to be free? Is that really what I want? So, starting with that, with the mind, working on the mind, and then building up to the time where you'll be able to physically enjoy that freedom. Another theme that is coming up is envy. And of course, envy is something that it is a very human emotion. We are all subject to feeling envy. And if we think about when or why we feel envious of others, it's because we are looking at something or someone that has something or someone that we want. And so I feel like a way to work with the energy of envy this new moon cycle is going to be taking some time to journal about what are the things that we are envious about in others that we want. So allowing ourselves to feel the envy, but using it as a positive tool. So through the energy of envy, we're going to be able to get some clarity around what we want and how we want it and those details. So allowing yourself to feel the envy, it's okay, but again, instead of being envy and thinking that we are separate, thinking that you don't deserve what they have, working on remembering that we are all experiencing the same thing. And again, going back to the freedom, it is up to us to reestablish our sense of power, our sense of self, to empower ourselves, to tell ourselves, I might not have what they have at this moment, but I know what I need to do to get there, or I know at least I have an idea of what it is that I'm looking for, so I can start setting those intentions, planting those seeds to get me where I want to go. And the last theme that's coming up for this new moon time is loneliness. I didn't show the envy card, but so definitely some solar plexus, sacral activations. Again, having to do with our self-worth, our creativity, so allowing the envy to start igniting the creative side in us. And the last theme is loneliness, which makes sense, when we are perceiving that we are separate from our community, we are separate from our family, we are separate from our friends. It's very easy for us to fall into this mentality that we are separated from everything and we are lonely and I don't have anyone, or no one else knows what exactly I'm going through. And so again, using that theme of loneliness to work on coming back to the self, coming back to the center, coming back to the idea and the true meaning of what it is to be connected with each other, with our community, with yourself, with your heart. I know for myself, I was recently talking about relationships, and I was asking a friend of mine, how do we know when we're ready for a partnership? Like, how do we know when it's time to be with someone? Because it's human nature for us, if we are not in a partnership and you want someone to share things with, or you want that physical companion and support, it's easy to fall into, again, like the sense of self-worth, that maybe I'm not good enough to receive love, and that pushes us towards deeper loneliness and deeper separation. So the theme for this new moon is going to be allowing ourselves to connect back into the divine source in a very big, like dreamy way, in a very big, like literally unshackling ourselves from those limiting beliefs that are coming up for us right now. So some things that we have already been cultivating from the last moon cycle that we are ready to integrate and we're ready to use for this new moon cycle is our ability to maybe be a little bit more optimistic. I feel like last moon cycle, we probably all went through a lot of stuff that reminded us of our strengths, of our weaknesses, of our power. We have the sun, the high priestess, and we have the tower. So interesting combination here. So we know that things are going to get better. We know that. It might be hard to believe and to feel sometimes when the tower is here, messing up our plans, when the divine is redirecting us and we don't know why or where we're going. But what we do know is that everything happens for a reason. If you've been on your own spiritual growth or spiritual path, or even just, I'm sure if you've been through a lot of things in your life, and if you've been able to keep a positive outlook on things, then you know that things are going to get better. Even when we have those low lows, at some point you are going to come back up and feel better and be in a much better place than where you once were. And the high priestess is here. Our intuition, our sense of being able to feel things out, we're starting to trust our intuition more. We're starting to trust our ability to read the room, to read the energy, to read people, and in a way that is going to help us feel more secure, and to remember that maybe my plans got canceled, or my trip got canceled, or something happened and messed up my plans, but I have a feeling that it wasn't meant to happen. I had a funky feeling from the start, so I think this was meant to be. And coming back to the tower, hopefully we learned our lesson last moon cycle, that if something or plans did not work out, or if our relationships didn't work out, it was probably for the best. So we're starting to be a little bit more comfortable with the idea of transformation, of the it almost feels, again, going back to freedom, like liberating to remember that we don't have the playbook. We don't have we don't have the blueprint. I mean, we might have the blueprint, but we don't have the final image of where we're going or what we're doing. So again, hopefully we feel a little bit more comfortable letting go of control going into this moon cycle. And how we're being asked to let go of the control a little bit, to be more positive, to listen to our intuition, is by allowing ourselves to tap into our fun side, our inner child. We have Two of Pentacles, we have the Page of Cups, and we have the Justice card. So first, I do want to focus on the Page of Cups because the page is very much the beginner of feeling inspired, feeling the intuition, feeling the love, and you're so excited. It feels like anything is possible. It's a very childlike energy, very optimist, very artsy, very I don't know if I want to say water sign. You know how I'm an earth sign, so I can definitely attest to how water signs are very just so bubbly. If they are embodied in that way, they're just so bubbly and so positive. So that's what I'm feeling, is allow ourselves to tap into our joy more, to tap into your emotions more, to open up the heart, to dream big, just to don't hold back. Really, like the sky is the limit right now. And Two of Pentacles, talking about balance. How can we balance ourselves a little bit more this moon cycle? So making sure we're not overworking ourselves, physically, mentally, spiritually, making sure that we are setting time for rest, setting time for play, setting time for work, setting time to eat, making sure that all of our bases are covered before pushing through, before dealing with these big tasks that we have assigned ourselves. And remembering that we are human, we do need to eat, we do need to sleep, we do need, we do need all these things. We need friends, we need play. So allowing ourselves to have that balance a little bit. And Justice, interesting. Justice card. Justice, I feel like, depending on how we've been carrying ourselves last moon cycle, maybe if you feel that you didn't really put in so much effort last month, or you feel like you feel some kind of guilt, or you feel like there's just this fear of how are my intentions going to be perceived by others, or how are my intentions going to be played out in the grand scheme of things. But remembering that justice is associated with the balancing of the scales, the karma, the duality that comes with being a human and living in a physical life. So remembering that as long as we are doing everything with our heart first, with our intentions pure, being willing to accept mistakes, to forgive, being willing to play with the idea that yes, there is double sides to everything, and one is not necessarily better than the other. We need both to have that balance. So again, going back to the Two of Pentacles, how can we feel more comfortable in the balance of good and bad and fast and slow? How can we find the middle ground? And what's going to keep us going through this new moon cycle is going to be our creativity. I feel like there's a lot of energy and messages around being able to play. We have this card, says the sacred flow of yes. It's orange, it has a koi fish, I love it. orange being associated with our sacral energy center, our energy center of our sexual life force energy as women. That is the center where, human beings are created and souls are waiting to come through the body of a woman. So if you are a woman, I suggest that you tap into your sensuality, your creativity, work with your hands more this moon cycle, and say yes more. This goes for everyone as well, like allowing ourselves to be open to the possibilities, just how the Page of Cups was showing us. What if you said yes? What if you did go to that event? Or what if you do sign up for this class? Or what if you, where will this yes take you? So allowing ourselves to just, F around and find out this moon cycle. Okay, so before I close up the collective reading for the new moon, some final bits of advice for how can we best show up for ourselves and how to cultivate the joy in this cycle. We have the Page of Wands, the Six of Wands, and the Four of Pentacles. So again, we have two pages in this reading. So definitely allowing ourselves to be open to being a learner. I feel like we are being called to step out of our comfort zone a little bit and to ask more questions, to seek people who are going to be able to inspire us, to show us something new, especially if it's in the area of your friendships, your emotions, your spiritual growth, or your passions, allowing yourself to play in new waters, I feel. And remembering again the self-confidence, self-affirmations that you are doing great. You do have a lot of accomplishments that you should be proud of. So allow yourself to bask in all of the good work that you have been doing. Even if it might not feel good or look good, again, in the grand scheme of things, you're trying, you're here, hello, you're here, you're listening to this reading. Not a lot of people are here for that. Not a lot of people are here for trying to better themselves in different ways, or I don't want to go too deep into that, but you're here, you're trying. That's what I feel like the message is. You're trying, and that's all that Spirit could ask for, is for us to try. And the last card, Four of Pentacles, is again remembering that we're safe, we are secure. We don't need to keep ourselves so armored and so shelled, such a hard shell. We don't need to protect ourselves so much. Just allow yourself to feel the safety and security, and then open up a little bit to see what comes in. The last message that I have is for someone who submitted a question on Instagram as well around their situation. Are things going to work out? Should I keep my distance? And so we pulled three cards. We pulled the Page of Swords, the King of Cups, and the Queen of Wands. So as much as I feel like you would want to approach the situation in a familiar way, I do feel like you're being asked to approach the situation in a different way that you are used to, because we have the Page of Swords. And again, talking about pages, they are the beginner, the learner, you're just at the beginning of using a new way of thinking to get you to where you want to go. The swords are associated with our thinking, our communicating, conversations. And so I feel like you should allow yourself to open up a little bit, to be vulnerable, because we have the King and the Queen of Cups. The cups are associated with our emotions, our internal world, our intuition, our softer side, our internal world. And the King and Queen, I mean, the Queen is all about being in touch with her feminine, intuitive, emotional side. And the King of Cups is also the archetype and the energy of being secure in your emotions and being secure in how you feel and why you feel it, and in a balanced way. And so I do feel like you are being asked to, approach the situation in a way that maybe feels scary and intimidating, but as long as you are coming from the heart and giving yourself the time to first sit with your own emotions, mother yourself, nurture yourself, figure out what it is that you're feeling and why you're feeling it, and just allowing yourself to sit with those emotions first so you can filter out what it is that needs to be shared with this other person. So I encourage you to maybe do some journaling, maybe do meditation, working on your throat chakra. I think it is going to be a good way to start, so that you can start clearing maybe the old ways of communicating to call in a new way of communicating that's more balanced, more with love, and being confident and feeling like your voice is worthy of being heard. Yes, so I feel like, actually, let me take some time, see if there's any other messages or guidance that Spirit has for the collective today, for the new moon. I definitely feel like there's a lot of emotions, a lot of things that we need to continue to sit with and to allow ourselves to be a little bit slower, but with intention. Slow with intention. That's what I'm feeling like is coming through. So, yes, rounding it up, new moon, collective themes, freedom, envy, and loneliness. So I encourage you to take some time to reflect on these three words: freedom, envy, and loneliness, and think about your relationship with these three words. What has been your relationship in the past with these words? When have you felt free? When have you felt envy? When have you felt lonely? And then do another section in your journal where, how do you feel these present in your life right now? How do you feel your freedom right now? How do you feel your envy coming through? How do you feel your loneliness experiencing right now? And then allowing yourself to see if there's any themes, if there are maybe some ways that you can change your outlook and your perspective on how these themes are showing up in a way that is going to help you bring your power back, to be able to tap into the lessons that these three words are bringing you. So again, follow the sacred flow of yes. Get creative, and I feel like that's it. So thank you guys so much for being here, and I will see you on the next one.